Phil Foden family parties while he practices penalties. Phil Foden has made the headlines by having a family who like music while England go crazy. Phil Yair boots. What's the biggest story in football on International Tuesday ahead of an England game and World Cup playoffs? If your answer is England international, Phil Foden's family having a party on Sunday which he did not attend that was over by 10 p.m. then congratulations, because you could get a job for the Sun website. Richard Moriarty starts strong by exclusively writing that England ace Phil Foden's family provoked complaints to police for holding a music festival with a blaring sound system on Mother's Day. One complaint according to Cheshire Police, but who's counting? Probably Cheshire Police, to be fair. As for describing it as a music festival, that is purely down to Selin Waters on a community Facebook group, so it's definitely worth topping the Sun's supposed football homepage. But this is definitely a football story because look, his club Manchester City have been dubbed the noisy neighbours over their rivalry with Man United, but on Sunday, all the racket was coming from his mansion. But not the mansion where he actually lives, which seems kind of important. Spot of Fuss Media Watch often repeats the sentiment that if the exact opposite of a story is more newsworthy then it's probably not actually news. That sentiment came to mind after seeing the tabloid back pages get all giddy at the news that England players are practicing penalties after losing a major tournament on penalties. 250 days until the World Cup knockout stage, don't worry, we have started practicing penalties. That's the incredulous back page of The Sun. While the Mail Online break out the capitals with this, England are practicing penalties already, with 8 months to go until the World Cup in Qatar, as Gareth Southgate bids to rid his team of the shootout heartache they suffered in the final of Euro 2020 against Italy altogether now. Of course they bloody are. It would be ludicrous if they weren't practicing penalties considering that's how they lost the Euro 2020 final, which utterly exposed the lack of regular penalty takers in the squad. As Gareth Southgate himself says, what is apparent in terms of regular penalty takers for their club, we really only have Harry Kane and James Ward-Prowse. So what's the solution? Maybe some practice. It's not rocket science and it's not, Charlie White of The Sun, a master plan for world domination. It's penalties, not invading Ukraine. Ron Neil Custis has 2 bylines on the back page of The Sun. Well done, Neil. The first is just plain odd, wrong, as he claims that Cristiano Ronaldo says he is ready to stay at Manchester United for another year. He really doesn't. He was asked, during a Portugal press conference ahead of the North Macedonia playoff, if he is thinking about international retirement. Here's the video, and if I feel like playing more, I will play. Cristiano Ronaldo has strongly rejected suggestions that he could soon retire from international football, suggesting he is his own one-boss pick. Twitter.com BPMRKGFMBXB Football Daily, at Football Daily, March 29, 2022. No mention of Manchester United. And why would there be when he was talking about Portugal? But the best part of this whole story is Custis reporting that there were rumors Ronaldo would be off in June after he was dropped for the Manchester Derby at the start of this month. And who spread those rumors? Neil. Oh. Bitter Shandy. The second byline gives Custis a chance to revisit an old feud as he reports that bitter Louis van Gaal told Ajax boss Erik ten Hag to steer clear of Manchester United. Van Gaal may well be bitter, but he is also one of a handful of people best placed to advise ten Hag about the Manchester United manager's position. Maybe the adjective should have been expert. Brit of nonsense on the inside pages of The Sun. Throwback columnist Andrew Dillon is partying like it's 1976 with this hilarious gag. Imagine being a Welsh or Scottish football fan for a moment. Now that you have put aside the urge to question your existence and stopped worrying about having no friends, just think what it must be like. Alternatively, imagine being the kind of redacted that thinks that is funny. Bohemian Rhapsody. There is an awful lot that is bizarre about Stan Collymore advice to Dele Alli to retire from football and go backpacking, but 5 paragraphs in, we suspect that Collymore has paid zero attention to Alli and how he is perceived. The initial criticism of him was, is he too nice? The best in the world tend to be really ruthless with a devil about them that Dele didn't have. Are we talking about the same Dele Alli? As Jamie Redknapp said in 2017, after he flipped his middle finger during an England game, Dele is a lovely kid. But he also has a devilish side which has led to moments of madness on the pitch. Although he has to control this part of his game, we must not try to knock it out of him. That was literally his reputation, as a talented player who had a little too much of an edge. Nobody other than Collymore himself has ever said he was too nice. Here is the line though, I don't think his clothing her hair, or what he drives make a big difference, but they can allude to a person's character. I wonder what he is trying to portray. That he wants to be a bit bohemian and has given up on the life of a footballer? So to practices, his clothing and hair do not matter, but what do his clothing and hair say about him? We don't think Ali will be taking up Collymores' offer for a call and a chat anytime soon. And not just because he will be unable to see his phone through all the smoke from his patchouli oil.